those individuals who had no sleep, the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that's involved in sort of fear and emotional processing, was 60% more active compared to those individuals who'd had at least 6 hours sleep. So I've talked a bit about some of the specific resources that play an important role. Um, I think it's also worth mentioning as well that general lifestyle and general mental health plays an important role here as well. So if I just give an example from sleep, there was a really nice study that Matthew Walker spoke about in his book on sleep, where he had two groups of people, one of whom they were allowed to have more than 6 hours sleep in a night. The other group that they kept awake all night, so they had no sleep. They then put them into an fMRI, a brain scanner, to look at brain activity and showed them some threatening images. And what they found was that those individuals who had no sleep, the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that's involved in sort of fear and emotional processing, was 60% more active compared to those individuals who'd had at least 6 hours sleep that night. So it's a good illustration of how sleep deprivation might have an impact on a biological level on our the way that we make sense and perceive particular stimuli in the environment. So it's just worth mentioning that some of our lifestyle factors might play an important role. Being connected socially to those around us is also an important factor, so that when we feel connected to people, we have both emotional support, but also practical and informational support that enables us to deal with the demands and view those demands differently. A very trite example that I can relate to, having your washing machine break down and leak all over the floor, which is a stressor. I mean, it's a minor stressor, but knowing that you're able to call on a friend or a family member who is able to advise or even fix the washing machine for you makes your stress response less than if you're on your own and you're a bit like me, not very good at doing DIY. So it's a bit of a trite example, but it illustrates how our response to a stressor might be different depending on whether we have that social support or whether we don't. We've done quite a lot of research as well on people's engagement with nature and being connected to the world around us. And that's an important element in terms of reducing our general stress levels that might then have an impact on the way in which we perceive some of the demands that we're faced with. So nature works on two different potential mechanisms. One is stress reduction theory. So simply being in nature, viewing nature, reduces our stress levels. It also, because of the soft fascination, the fractal patterns that we see in the nature, it draws our attention in a way that is not cognitively demanding. So it enables us to restore our attentional resources. And so we feel better able to cope with some of the demands afterwards if we've been engaged or close to nature. And there's some really good evidence that people function cognitively better when they live close to nature or when they go into nature. And that's some of the work that we've done here has explored that. So engagement with nature, social support, good sleep, these lifestyle factors are important in more generally our perception and managing our stress levels.